Welcome to Cowboys Nation Report. I'm your host, bringing you the fiercest, most passionate takes on the latest around America's team. Today, we dive into a name being whispered more and more in Dallas circles, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and ask the bold question, should the Cowboys pounce on him now? Let me take you on this ride. Strap in, because this one hits. From the outset, the 2025 season has exposed the weak underbelly of the Cowboys defense. Under Matt Eberflus, the unit has looked shaky, blown coverages, missed tackles, communication breakdowns. The secondary in particular has been carved up by tight ends, slot receivers, and gutsy over-the-middle throws. Analysts are pointing to Dallas's pass defense as one of the biggest liabilities this season, with opposing QBs finding seams in the deep middle and glaring holes over the second level. The timing could be perfect because just as the Cowboys scramble for answers, the Houston Texans officially released safety CJ Gardner-Johnson. He was cut after an 0-3 start, and reports say internal friction played a role. A mismatch in scheme, personality conflicts, and dissatisfaction with role. But that friction doesn't erase what he brings to the field: versatility, ball skills, instincts, and a track record of making plays. Let's lay down the stats, the resume, and the why Dallas case, then see how it all could come together for Cowboys Nation. Who is CJ Gardner-Johnson? Resume and production. Gardner-Johnson, born December 20th, 1997 out of Florida, was drafted in 2019 in round 4 by the Saints. Over his NFL tenure spanning New Orleans, Philadelphia, 2 stints, Detroit, and Houston, he's built a notable body of work. Through 2024, his career totals include 304 tackles, 18 interceptions, 51 passes defensed, 4 sacks, and a defensive touchdown. In 2024 alone, he recorded 59 combined tackles, 35 solo, 12 pass deflections, and matched his career high with 6 interceptions, adding a pick 6 in the rematch versus Dallas. That pick 6 came against Dallas, a 69-yard return off Cooper Rush, serving as a reminder that when Gardner-Johnson is on his game, he is a playmaker. He's shown ability to play both safety spots and even slot coverage. In New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Detroit, defensive coordinators trusted him in multiple roles: deep safety, closer to the box, or even as a hybrid slot defender. Before being released, Gardner-Johnson had logged merely 96% of the Texans' defensive snaps in 2025 and picked up 15 tackles with a QB hit. Put simply, he's not just a depth signing, he's a high-upside, high-impact defensive back who can transform a shaky secondary into a more resilient unit. Why he makes sense for the Cowboys? Let's stack up the reasons Cowboys Nation should be rooting for this acquisition. Plug the safety gap immediately. The Cowboys' current safety cohort is under fire. Missed assignments, blown communications, and a secondary lacking leadership have left Dallas vulnerable. A veteran like Gardner-Johnson would instantly raise the floor. His presence alone could steady the back end, clean up busts, and give younger guys someone to lean on. Versatility and scheme fit. Eberflus's defense ideally needs flexible playmakers, guys who can shift, adapt, drop, and blitz. Gardner-Johnson has shown he can do all that: line up deep, step into the box, or shadow slot receivers. Dallas would gain tactical flexibility, especially in nickel or dime packages, enabling disguise coverages or pressure looks without needing too many substitutions. Ball skills and takeaways. Turnovers have been scarce for Dallas in 2025. They rank last or near last in turnover margin. Gardner-Johnson brings a ball hawk element. With 18 career picks, knack for forcing throws, and playoff experience, he could help tilt close games by making splash plays. Leadership and immediate impact. Unlike a mid-season rookie bump, this is a player with playoff seasoning, a Super Bowl ring he won with the Eagles in Super Bowl XLI, and a reputation for competitive fire. For a Cowboys defense in need of identity, that's exactly the influence they need in the locker room and on the field. Bargain potential. The best part, Gardner-Johnson is available now. Dallas doesn't need to trade draft capital. It doesn't need to overpay in trade deals. The Texans cut him, meaning Dallas could sign him to a team-friendly deal and get immediate value. This is the kind of opportunistic move a bold front office should make. Potential roadblocks and what would need to go right. Of course, no move is without risk. There are a few caveats. Locker room chemistry. One reason Houston released him was alleged internal friction, complaints about his role, disagreements, and trade requests. The Cowboys would have to ensure he meshes well culturally, avoids ego clashes, and buys into the scheme. Scheme assimilation. Though Gardner-Johnson is versatile, he would need to learn Dallas's system quickly. Rotations, cover concepts, signaling, communication with corners and linebackers. Mistakes early could be costly. Health and consistency. He's had injuries, a leg injury in camp, 2025, and is only human. Consistent production is never guaranteed. Cap constraints and contract mechanics. Dallas would need to balance how much commitment they make, how long the deal is, and incentives. But the upside seems to outweigh the downside if structured wisely. How he could slot into the Cowboys' defense. If signed, here's how he might integrate. He could start as a strong safety or free safety, depending on the matchups, and serve as a Swiss Army knife in sub-packages. Against offenses that heavily use tight ends or use over-the-middle routes, Gardner-Johnson could play in the deep middle while other safeties roam. In nickel or dime sets, he could move up close to the line to help in run support or slot coverage, or disguise blitzes, giving coordinator Eberflus more creative flexibility without overextending his back end. Over time, his leadership and playmaking could help younger DBs, corners, or other safeties elevate their game. Better pre-snap communication, cleaner alignments, more trust and structure. The conclusion, a hero move for Cowboys Nation. Cowboys Nation, we are at a crossroads. The offense is talented, the front seven has pieces, but the back end is a fault line. CJ Gardner-Johnson offers a rare combination of experience, versatility, ball instincts, and immediate readiness. The Cowboys have the roster, the need, and the timing. This is the kind of move that separates contenders from pretenders. If Jerry Jones and the front office have their eyes open, they should pick up the phone today. This is the low-hanging fruit that could reshape the identity of the defense. It could be the missing puzzle piece that lets the Cowboys stop bleeding in tight games, make stops when they count, and push toward a deep playoff run. Cowboys Nation, you know how I end these. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Dallas should sign CJ Gardner-Johnson? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like if you're fired up thinking about this move. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next Dallas Scoop. Let's ride together and build this into something legendary.